AlexHealthHacksReview.com. I'm just going to show you a quick video on craftsmanship between the Signature Sunlighten series and also Clearlight's new Sanctuary, or as they call Full Spectrum series. This video is just mainly on craftsmanship on wood type. You may not have this type of opportunity to actually review both saunas up close and in person. But these are just some details so you can kind of tell a lot about how each one is actually manufactured. And so what I'd like to first point out here is just taking a look at the bench, okay? Now, just anybody who knows anything about good furniture or good office or anything really, just quality craftsmanship when it comes to wood this is what we'd expect to see, that you know, a bench or a seat would run flush right into the wall here, okay? Okay, so this is going to make a lot more sense when I run over and we can check out the Clearlight together. So just remember that. Check to see how that bench runs in there. Okay. And now let's take a look in the ceiling. And again, this is kind of what you'd expect to see. Even lines coming over, but also the roof just resting right on the top here. Okay. Coming to the outside now. You can see that, just lift that up. Perfect fit right in there. Now let's run over. Sanctuary 1, for all of you if you've never seen one before. Sanctuary 1 person. Let me just close this plywood door over here. Alright, so when we look at the ceiling here, we'll notice that the roof is actually resting on this right here, this little strip. So again, there's actually no way I can actually lift it up from the outside, but you can actually see that it doesn't flush right down, it actually flushes right onto this little thin strip here. Okay. Now let's take a look at the bench. Just kind of go out here. Alright, now you see that gap on the right hand side? Generally I'd say that's probably like a, could almost do 3 of my fingers. Probably saying that's almost 2 inches. Probably, it's a pretty big gap on the right hand side. So just in general it makes it a lot easier to manufacture when you leave more of a margin of error over there, just in case something needs to be corrected after the fact. It's just kind of just an example of not controlling manufacturing at the factory processes the same way. And oops, looks like I kicked this little strip off by accident. Came off the side there. Let me try to fix that. Well, anyways. Okay, so now if we look at the outside of the sauna, just for a second, what you'll notice is that, and this goes for the other models as well in the Sanctuary series, there is no thick border basic wood strip on the front. That does not exist. There's also no wood board running along the sides either. And generally, that is just to save money. Normally on the Sunlighten, that actually will connect as a lip that goes over for the Signature series, and it gives it a much tighter seal in here for insulation. That's one benefit, as well as just more robust construction. And this is usually an angle that you don't get to see too often, but it does give you an opportunity to see kind of the thickness of what type of wood they're using here in the roof. And in another video, I'm actually going to point out how the walls are held together, but you can just kind of like get a quick glance at this. And in another video, you'll see the comparison in the Sunlighten as far as how they're attached on the top. So let's do a quick run back here. So just one more time for the Signature series now. And remember, there's also an Impulse series, but this is just the Signature. We see this very thick piece of wood here. It runs around the roof. So these are some of the differences. Runs around the back also. Makes for a roof that, if I just lift up here, it's really quite heavy. Okay, so that's it for kind of this video. Just a few little details I want to kind of point out. There is one more thing. I don't have my tape measure with me yet, but also the tempered glass door here, that is a lot thicker. Actually, hold on a second. Let me see if I can grab my tape measure. All right. So I'd say it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5, almost 6 millimeters. And again, the reason I'm measuring the glass is I just want to measure something that potentially is important when it comes to insulation. All right, here we go. And it looks like we have about 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. With glass, it can make a little bit of a difference. Now, this potential design right here, having these doors kind of come out with individual joints, is definitely aesthetically unique and nice. Maybe some people might even think, but in general, what we're going to see is we're going to have a lot more potential for these gap spaces of air to be actually coming out of the cabin. In general, we're going to, of course, want a little bit of a tighter seal here, and that might potentially affect things like warm-up time and just overall how hot it can get inside. But that's it for now. Stay tuned for more videos on a Clearlight versus Sunlighten comparison.